May 22nd, 2023, at the Elm Avenue Town Park. Just going for my walk. It's about dusk now. I'm gonna head back shortly. So today wasn't too bad of a day. Kind of busy. Actually, first half of the day was very quiet in the office. I got busy around 3 o'clock. We had a rush background that I'm reviewing right now, and that's kind of a big priority. Then more committee agendas came in. And then I was able to get out at 5 o'clock, which really surprised me. I thought the session was going to be late, but I guess there was a Italian American festival that a lot of legislators go to, so that ended early. And tomorrow's the LCA show, so that should also end early. So I finally got the spokes in for my bike, and they're the right size, I believe. I started to try to put them on the bike. I spent like an hour fiddling around with it this evening. I knew it was going to be a problem to figure out the order and getting them put in correctly. And I think I figured it out, or pretty close to figuring out how they go back in. But I just, after an hour, I dropped one of the stupid spoke nubs into the wheel well, or to the wheel. It's actually the double line thing, and I had to try to fish it out, and that was a real pain. I said, I'm just done for the night with that. I'm not going to mess around. I'll probably work on it over the weekend. Weekend now looks absolutely beautiful, but I'm probably not going to plan to get out of town, except maybe do a quick overnight, like up to Coal Hill or Rensselaer State Forest. I'm just worried that if I go out to Spectator this weekend, all the campsites that have decent cell reception are probably going to be taken up that way, and the nice sites that have good solar. And I just think I'm going to have to probably work part of the weekend. I can't work remote unless I have cell service at minimum, and really I should have the solar so I can do laptop work to keep my laptop charged. And I just don't think it's going to work this weekend. I'm not going to be able to leave before Friday. I mean, if I could leave Friday morning and work remote all day and get a campsite early, I would definitely do that, but that's not going to be a realistic option with work this year. So hopefully I can fiddle with the bike and then go over to see John Wolcott. I'm hoping to see him this week. His wife was sick last week, so I didn't get to go over to his house. I did some hiking and maybe do an overnight, as I said, in one of the local state forests. Hammock camp, although I'm just worried about the black flies. I mean, that's the one thing about Memorial Day weekend, that why I wants to be away from the Adirondacks. Because for years and years, Memorial Day weekend was like the big weekend. Oh, it's the start of summer. I get out and, 3-day weekend, get out, enjoy things, and, spend time in the wilderness. But it's like you spend your time either hiding in the truck cap or under the screen tent. And the best hours are after dark. And yeah, it's nice when it cools off in the evening. The black flies are gone, and you can have a nice fire. But you really can't do any hikes really after dark, or no long hikes. You do road hikes, but it's just not. I don't think it's worth it. If I can get out the following weekend, even though it's only a 2-day weekend, I'll have plenty of options to go places. They'll be not crowded anywheres. Hopefully, it won't be rainy. Although if it is rainy, my plan is to go take the nature bus up to Thatcher Park. And I'm hoping just because that bike, I want to get the spokes fixed on that bike. And then the other stuff, I think I shouldn't take super long to get done. I might need one more part to fix the derailleur. I mean, I'm almost at this point now. I was talking to Lynn more about it. I just take the bike down tube and have them get it back on the road. I just would rather learn how to do this myself, make the repairs myself. But I do want to get the bike back on the road because I want to be able to bike to work and bike around town. There's so many great bike trails now. I was just looking at the map, the DOT map of both bike routes and bike trails, and pretty much I can bike from my house now to Troy with only very few on-road sections. Go up People's Island, then connect up even with the Erie Canal Trail and head all the way out to Buffalo if I really want to. Relatively few section of road hikes or road biking, which would be great. And there really isn't all that big of a slope. I mean, I guess the climb through Cohoes is a bit of a slope, but the rest of it, the Mohawk River only goes up. I don't know, what is it, 400 feet between Albany and Utica at the most, and then it starts going downhill after that, I believe. So it's not like it's a very flat, easy bike path. I mean, most of the rail trails are not more than about 1.5% incline, so they're nice for that too. And then I'm just thinking for the summer, I was actually looking at trails out around the Finger Lakes National Forest, and there's the Catherine Valley Trail, and there's the Black Diamond Trail. both old road beds that or old railroad beds that have gentle grades, but you can ride for miles and miles. And I'm just thinking, even from camp up there, if at the National Forest there, I could just get on some of those rural roads that are relatively flat and straight. I mean, there's somewhat of a hill. Obviously, if you head from the top of the Finger Lakes National Forest down to Watkins Glen or Ithaca, there's big hills. But if you're up on the top there, I mean, yes, between yes, in the 20 miles from the top of the Hector Backbone to Seneca Falls works out to be roughly 20 miles, and it's a drop of about 400, 500 feet. But again, it's a pretty gentle grade. I mean, there are some good hills, but not too much. Once you get off the high part of the backbone, it really isn't that much. I feel like I could go out and see a lot more places with the bike than I could with driving, because I hate driving my truck around for things. I don't mind driving up to camp. I don't mind on vacation, but to drive around town just a waste of gas. And then all the speed zones in town and traffic lights and traffic. The open road driving is great, but not so much that the stop and go stuff in the city. I really try to avoid that as much as possible. Well, we're almost at 7 minutes now, and it's getting really dark, so I gotta start heading home. But I'll move forward, and hopefully I'll get that bike together this weekend. I'm not going to play around with it until Saturday. It was a waste of time, and I got unnecessarily frustrated over something I knew was not going to be super easy at first until I figured out the pattern. Well, have a great evening, everyone.